it's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 6th of December to everybody. So yeah, let's peel back another square. Ooh, so we got quite a few different colours and a few different bits in this one. I can see there's quite a bit of 310, so I'm gonna start with the black. To be fair, these diamonds are really nice, so whether it's black or not, I'm not finding that it's a bind, but we'll quite often, when it is a bind, I do like to get the blacks out of the way, or at least if there's a lot of blacks, I like to do a big batch of them when I first sit down to do the painting, and then I like to move on to the nicer colours. And if I do that each time I sit down, then it doesn't seem as much of a bind, should we say, because I know quite often it can be 310. So we'll get these done first, out the way. And I thought I'd change the topic of conversation up a little bit. I felt like yesterday's ended up being a little bit heavy. I hope it didn't come across that way. It's not me. I'm not wanting to tell people what to do, but I'm also wanting to share something that we found has been extremely helpful, and to recognise that Christmas can sometimes be a bit hard, or can bring those few worries across, that especially over money, the amount that gets spent at this time of year. But anyway, let's move on to a different topic. So I'm wondering if anybody else is as crazy as me. So every now and then I have these ideas to revamp or decorate a part of the house. I did it a few years ago. I found a wallpaper that I really liked in Next. I'd nipped shopping in with one of my daughters and realised that they were down to, they only had like one roll, I think, in my local shop, and I asked about it and they were like, oh yeah, it's discontinued. And I'm thinking, no, I want this wallpaper. So they were kind enough to ring round for me, found other stores with it. I was like, right, I need to get it now because I really like it. And I only wanted to do the chimney breast, so I wasn't doing the whole room, but I ended up having to get it, which meant once I got it, it meant I wanted to put it up. Now, yes, it was only the chimney breast. I did only need to, remove a mirror off the sort of chimney breast wall. But of course it involved moving some shelves down to the side of it so that I could get the wallpaper up. And once the wallpaper was up, I needed some more cushions. And I decided to do this all, this was a few years ago, I decided I needed to get this all done in time for my second eldest daughter to turn 18. Pretty sure it was her 18th birthday, which was on the 19th of December. And I think it was only a week or two before her birthday that I'd decided that this was going to happen. And this was all going to happen while I was at work. It wasn't like I had time off work to do it. Yeah. And it, I got it done. Quite often I am somebody that I work better with a deadline. I'm more of a last minute ish kind of person, because life gets so busy. I would love to be the kind of person that is prepared and has it all done sooner, but some things, it just doesn't happen that way. It just gets far too busy and I end up doing it last minute. but I'll get it done. So yeah, that leads me on to my latest crazy idea, which my husband is fully on board with. You know, I gave him the get out till January clause, and he didn't take it, so we're game on. So recently we've been looking, there are companies that amazingly they will paint your kitchen door fronts and pelmets and top parts and all the rest of it, and they'll do it all in a day and give your sort of kitchen a new lease of life, a revamp, and you know, your kitchen looks like a different kitchen. So yeah, we've sort of decided to do that, but over a longer period of time. We're definitely not at the skill set that we can get it done in one day, but yeah, we've decided that we are going to paint all of our kitchen cupboards and pelmets and trims underneath, and I know there's technical names for them. I'm not sure what they are, but I know there's names for them. Yeah, so we're going to give our kitchen a paint. I'm sure once I've done all the cupboards I will look at the walls and want to paint that again, but I'm trying not to scare myself. So today we have picked up a paint colour for the fronts of the cupboards. We've picked up a primer and an undercoat. It's a primer and undercoat in one. That will go over both wood on the cupboards and also the sort of laminate trims around the sides of the cupboards where, you know, where they're showable. And yeah, we've decided that we're going to paint our kitchen units before Christmas. So how crazy are we? Because I definitely don't want it half done for Christmas. We've decided we're going to do it sort of after work. We're going to do a bit each night. We're not going to, you know, commit to getting it done on a weekend or something like that. We are going to keep the house functioning in between, because we know what it's like with decorating. The house gets, I know normally when I decorate there are other rooms that seem to suffer while the decoration's happening. We're going to try not to do that too much, try and keep everything under control, should they say. But yeah, our kitchen cupboards are going to go from, when did we redo our kitchen? We did our kitchen years and years ago. I'm trying to think how old some of the children were when we did it originally. It must have been in there, I'd say at least 15 years, maybe a bit less than that. It's still in really good condition, the kitchen itself. It is in pretty good nick. Like, it doesn't need replacing. It's not, the cupboards are falling off and all that sort of stuff. But we do feel it needs a revamp. It has had new work surfaces. I want to say about 2 years ago we put the new work surfaces on. You know, it's not a high-end granite top type kitchen, but yeah, we put new laminate work surfaces on, and that changed it completely. You know, we completely changed the colouring of the work units, the worktops. I think we'd repainted it once or twice in that time, in the time we've had the kitchen, but we've never done anything with cupboards. So we had looked at potentially just buying new cupboard fronts. Actually, no, I tell a porky, we have changed the handles on the cupboards. So when we changed the worktops, we changed the handles to give the kitchen a bit of a change. So we did change the handles. But we looked at changing the actual cupboard fronts. However, because we have a few of the sides of the cupboards are in the beige colour because they're on show. They're not just the inside white carcass. Because we have those as beige, to change the cupboards, we would have to make sure that it was a beige coloured cupboard for it to match the side pieces. Otherwise we would be looking at taking cupboards out to change it, and that became too much. So we did look at that as sort of a revamp on a budget. So anyway, we went out, we bought paint today. We may need to buy more paint, but so far we've gone for some really nice quality paint. I think on paint, we spent about £60 on paint and the undercoat primer, about that, for doing this. So, you know, we're not skimping on the price of the paint because it is a very much a heavy duty area is the kitchen, especially in our house. But yeah, has anybody else, if I can get my words out, see, I must be scaring myself already. Has anybody else decided to tackle a project before Christmas? Have you decided to decorate somewhere? Decided that something needs a revamp and overhauled your house before Christmas? Because yeah, I have. I've decided the kitchen. I don't necessarily have days off work or time off work. Oh, I found a rogue bead. I'll put that over there and figure it out later. Yeah, has anybody else decided to join the crazy train with me? You revamping somewhere? Even remodelling? You decided to remodel somewhere? I know somebody at work's decided to remodel somewhere. I mean, they are, you know, nearer the end of it now, but still, it's very close to Christmas. I can imagine it's, you know, it's just a matter of wanting to be done. I suppose it's that deadline, isn't it, that we all give ourselves, that we want something to look nice, ready for Christmas. Yeah, so I said to her, I said, well, start it in the new year if you want. Nah, I think we'll be able to get it done before Christmas. Okay, let's see. I think he's looking forward to playing with the heat gun and taking the sort of laminate coating that's round the doors. I think he's looking forward to taking that off, because we have decided to take that off our doors that have it on. So yeah, that will be my crazy update. I'm sure I'll give you an update on how that's going at some point during our whip and chats. I'm here all month. Yeah, and that was mainly my topic for today, and I haven't finished my diamond painting, so what else can we chat about? I think decorating. Maybe we'll just keep on the decoration topic but go into different questions. Let's ask you different questions that you can answer below. So, are you a person that does the decorating, or are you the person that maybe has the ideas and gets somebody else to do it? Maybe. In our house, I'd say recently it's been a bit of both. So both my husband and I have tended to have the conversations and the agreements over decorating, and we both tend to have taken part in getting that decorating started and implemented. In the past, I think more so when the kids were younger, I was at home more. I tend to work nights or evenings. I worked when the children were younger. So then it tended to be I did the decorating. When we first moved into this house, which we've now lived in for 21 years, my parents gave us the gift of paying for somebody to come and decorate our front room, wallpaper our front room. At the time, neither of us really knew what we were doing or how to do it. So they kindly paid for somebody to come and decorate our front room. I was at home with the kids. Okay, so hang on. Oh, I've got one that's a slash that way and one that's a line that way. Must pay attention. Yeah, so he came round for the day and was decorating the front room, and I was of course about with the kids, and I was eagle eye. I just watched him for most of the day. I've got a few crossovers here, so I'm just lifting up corners to be able to place the diamond. There we go. Yeah, so I just watched him for most of the day, and then I had a go. So I had a go at decorating. I did half. It was back in the days when we did half wallpaper and then a border. So I actually decorated, I think, well, it was my daughter who's about to turn 21. It was her bedroom. Bottom half done in wallpaper, top half done in paint, and I decorated her room, and that sort of got me wallpapering, and I've just done it myself ever since. Painting, that's just like crafting, isn't it? You know, I like to do that. Well, I like to start it. By the time I've done an hour or so, I'm probably like, nah. But I think we got spurred on because recently the front room that we decorated, I say quite a while ago, about 2-3 years ago, we took down some shelves that were behind the couch, and we took them down to put up my diamond painting, to put up my blossom tree diamond painting, which I will have a video on come probably the new year. And in doing that, we had dark wood that sort of came down. We'd replaced the coffee table and sort of TV stand that were also in this darker wood. So all we were left with in the dark wood was some shelves behind the TV, and the mirror in the front room. And I didn't really want to go shopping for another mirror. Well, actually, it wasn't the shopping for another mirror, let's be right. It was the fixings on the wall for another mirror. Like, I like the mirror that I've got. It's not that I dislike it, but I so did not want to try and get screws in the wall that would hold the mirror again. So what we decided to do, we're on pretty ABs by the way, people, is we painted them. We painted the mirror and the shelves. We did that a couple of weekends ago, I want to say. Within the last month anyway, within the month of November it was in. Yeah, we painted them with furniture paint, just a bit like chalk paint, and they look amazing. And it is revamped the front room sort of again. So changing some of the furniture, revamped it, and then painting the shelves and the mirror from a really dark brown. It wasn't mahogany, wasn't a reddish brown, but it was a brown. So we've changed from a brown to a pale grey on the shelves. And it took this furniture paint, I think I gave it 3 coats, just because I wanted to be sure that I wouldn't find any bits popping out at me later on. But yeah, I think that sort of spurred us on to look at other places in the house and thinking, what can we do to revamp? Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just to give it another little new lease of life. So these shelves and this mirror, I think the paint for that was £9. Yeah, £9. I think I spent most of the day painting them, though I was letting it dry in between. So I was of course pottering about doing other stuff. But yeah, and it's totally changed what our front room looks like, because it's just taken out all of the dark wood. And then we also had a revamp where I had a cluster of frames, a cluster of picture frames. I wanted to sort of change a couple of the frames and maybe change a couple of the pictures within them. And in the end, what we decided to do was we got 2 picture ledges from IKEA. I ended up going on Pinterest. That was my problem. I went on Pinterest and we ended up getting one of the longer picture shelves, and then we got a smaller one. So it's sort of got a little step to it. We've got pictures on there, we've got ornaments on there, and I love it. And we've just completely revamped our room for what, £9 on paint, a tin of paint from B&Q, and I think the 2 picture ledges I think one of them was £9 and one of them was £5, so £14 and £9, which is what, £24, and it's revamped our front room living space. We did buy a couple of plants and stuff from IKEA, but the main changes, the main things that revamped it were those 2. And yeah, that started our decorating bug. Goodness help us with this kitchen. But if you've got any tips and tricks, please let me know, and I'll keep you updated as to whether said kitchen gets finished. Whether it gets finished this side of Christmas, I'll let you all know. Of course, let me know any sort of conversation topics or anything as well down below, whether you're enjoying the conversation topics, whether you want them to be different, whatever it may be. But that square is done. Thinking, oh yeah, that is the bottom corner. Oh, let me pull that out from under my storage. So we've got the bottom little part of the guitar. We're not going to see the rest of it until Christmas Eve, but that's really coming together. I'm liking the way it's sort of appearing. Where are we tomorrow? We're up here tomorrow, so we'll get a little bit more of the background. But anyway, that's all done. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.